Hello once again. Today I will show 6 tips to improve your Magic Find build. If you're an experienced player, you may find most of these tips obvious, however, I hope everyone will find something to improve even just a bit. This will not be a full build guide. If you need a full Magic Find build guide, I've posted such a video some time ago, and I will post a new build guide too, as I try to do it almost every patch. In this video, I will show tips mostly for Ranger class builds, but I hope that every Magic Finder will find something interesting here. So right now I will just show some tips so you can upgrade your existing MF build and make it more interesting to play. Let's dive into it. Number 1 is the elegant Hubris historic jewel to get some item rarity. With this jewel it's possible to get up to 4 item rarity mods, 40% each. So technically it's possible to get 160%, but it's a bit unrealistic. It's more realistic to get a jewel that allows you to easily allocate 2 or 3 rarity mods without having to sacrifice too many points. You can go to the timeless calculator to find a jewel that fits you best. The link is in the description. Currently I'm using number 146340 for a nice double 40% item rarity and double 80% projectile damage. For sure you can find some other better numbers for you. In order to do that, go to the timeless calculator website. Click the skill tree view, select the elegant Hubris jewel, and then select any conqueror as it's not relevant, and then click select stats. Now choose the jewel socket, and assuming that most of the MF builds play Ranger class, we want the socket that is just above the frenetic notable. You can try to find another socket if your build is different. Next go to add stat, type rarity and select the increased item rarity mode. The default weight for it will be set to 1, and below you can enter the minimum total weight, which will be equal to the number of mods. If I type 4 and click search, I will get 5 matches of jewels with 4 rarity mods. I can click the results to see where the mods are exactly, as well as what the other mods are. I can click trade to automatically go to the trade site with the specific jewel. When searching, open the filters and check all 4 conquerors, as any conqueror jewel will do the job. Now if I click config again and type 3 as minimum total weight, it will show 59 matches with the 3 rarity mods jewels. You can click them to see where the mods are as well as what other mods are. I don't want to provide any specific numbers, just do your own research and decide which one fits your build best. My only advice would be to aim for 2 or 3 mods, not for 4 mods, but it's up to you. Number 2 is the Forbidden Flame and Forbidden Flesh jewels plus Divination Distillate combo, if you're playing Ranger class. It requires 2 jewel sockets, so it's quite a big sacrifice, but it allocates Master Surgeon, which prevents the life flask's effect from stopping after we're fully recovered. This makes perfect synergy with the Divination Distillate flask, which once activated will never end its effect area when recovered. It requires some skill to activate it just after using a movement skill or attack skill, as it won't be activated when we're on full life and mana, but it's quite easy to keep it active almost all of the time. Increasing the attack speed of a character would help for sure to use mana and thus activate the flask easier. Number 3 is the Honored Tattoo of the Pillager for item rarity. These tattoos were just added in the Ancestors League. Now many players will say that this is a huge waste, but using some of these tattoos can add about 30 to 40% item rarity, which is always something. If you're playing Tornado Shot, maybe using the 8% projectile speed tattoo of the Ramako sniper instead may be a good idea too. Number 4 is quite obvious, but maybe not for everyone. Try to get good corruption implicits on your gear. If you get additional pair of Max Quant Sadima's gloves or Max Quant Grid's Embrace, corrupt them. With Sadima's, the best implicit is Curse with Elemental Weakness. For Grid's Embrace, the best 2 implicits in my opinion are +1 to socketed gems and increased damage, but the increased damage is better I think. It's also very nice to have a Headhunter with good implicit or implicits. There are many good corruption implicit options on a belt slot to make your build stronger, and for Magic Find there's 5% increased item quantity and there's 30% increased item rarity. 5% quant is super expensive and rare, almost impossible to get for most of the players, and 5% is actually not that much. On the other hand, item rarity is also expensive, but not that crazy expensive as item quant, and 30% figure seems really not bad. So if you can get a good rarity headhunter, that would be a good deal, I think. Fifth and sixth tips will not concern item rarity or item quantity, but they will certainly help with making a build stronger. So number 5 is Thread of Hope Jewel. It allows to allocate passives without being allocated to the tree, but it only affects the passives in the ring. The jewel has different versions of radius size, and our choice here is the large ring version. It's socketed in the jewel socket just above the fervor notable. Really good option here. I was using Inspired Learning jewel in the socket, but this option is even better. Number 6 is to get the 12 passives large cluster jewel, the item level 84 bow damage version. Actually not a jewel, but 2 jewels in a perfect scenario. It's obviously good for normal builds as well, but it's especially helpful with capping the resistances in MF builds, so we don't have to play around too much with other gear to get the resistances. The perfect version would be 3% attack speed, plus 4% to all elemental resistances, plus 10 to maximum life, and 35% increased effect of small passives. With that increased effect we actually get 4% attack speed, plus 5 to all elemental resistances, and plus 13 to life per each small passive allocated. The bow damage small passive bonuses on the jewel are also amplified by the 35% increased effect. If you don't feel like you need life, you can get a version with 4% increased damage prefix instead of the life prefix, or just ignore life to get a budget version like I did, just to get a second jewel for cheap until I can buy a second perfect one, as it's good to have 2 of those. Okay, so that's it. These are my 6 tips to improve your Magic Find build. Please let me know what are your ways to improve your MF character to have more fun. Thanks for watching, and please consider subscribing for more Path of Exile content. See you!